Hi everyone, welcome back in another video project where I'm going to share with you a really modern landing page. And so before I start showing you the landing page, one heads up is this video is not for, it's not a beginner friendly. So actually is something that I want to share with you is how to be able to create a really good looking landing page as I'm going to show you in a short period of time. So this is where I'm uh, providing this website called Ballstack. So if you are subscribed to my channel, so you already know about this website. So this website is actually providing reusable components or blocks ready to use, copy and paste, and also providing a Next.js generator project with the database and NextAuth already built in. So all you have to do provide your in the env files your variables, and you are ready to go. So I want to just make this clear before I move any further. So let's go back to our landing page, and we're going to be using React, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, Shadcn, and Next.js. And of course, we're going to be using this website. So if we go to the blocks section, so as you can see, I have many blocks that we're going to be using, and they are organized uh, like this. So we have the landing page, the authentication, and the dashboard. And also, if you look at my recent projects in my YouTube channel, so I used mainly the components from this section to be able to create really good looking dashboards in a less period of time. So this is what I'm doing to stand out a bit in the market. So let's go back to the landing page. So as you can see, we have the navbar, a floating navbar. And if I scroll down, we have this amazing hero section. And as you can see, we have a dashboard. And the reason for this is because it is for uh, a project that I built for about 1 year ago, and you can find it in my YouTube channel. And the thumbnail is Full Stack Project Manager with the same color scheme. So I thought, why not to create a really good looking and beautiful landing page, because the landing page for that project wasn't that good. It was very basic, but because I learned many skills, I learned a lot of skills, and also I got some experience. So I think now I can be able to create modern and good looking landing pages like this. And of course, to have this tool in your hands to be able to create faster landing pages and also faster UIs in general. And then we have the customer section. We have the our process section. So we have the bento grid, and all of these images are real from this landing page or this project. And also some of the information in other sections are not real, just made up, just to be able to create this landing page. And then we have the how it works section. And by the way, all of these components, I took them from this website. So all you have to do is just to know how to use them. And this is why I'm creating this video, to be able to actually create the project that you want and adapt them as you would like. And then we have the productivity section or the block section. Then we have the pricing section, and here we have the uh, the F, FAK section, and finally we have the testimonial section. All those are just made up, the newsletter, and finally we have the footer section. So this is the landing page. As you can see, the landing page has a lot of section, but it's going to take you less time when you use reusable components to save you a lot of time. So think about it, just building this for a client or just for yourself. So how long it's going to take you if you build everything from scratch? So it is a total waste of time. So this is what I came up with where when you get experience with React. So you need to build to have a tool to be able to save a lot of time and just focus on other elements or new territories. And also we have the dark mode as well. And also one thing that I'm providing in the Next.js boilerplate generator. So if I click on the login, so so we're gonna go to the route and we're gonna have this beautiful uh, form. So already served in the boilerplate generator for free. So this is what we're going to be building so far. And if you are really interested about this video, stick with me till the end of it. So now we are going to start building our project or landing page. And what we're going to do, we're going to go back to ballstack.dev and we're going to go to the tools section. And here we're going to hit the start building button. And we're going to be headed towards this stepper. So this stepper has 3 steps to be able to gather information about the Next.js boilerplate code that you want to create. So the project name, so I'm going to select project master and I'm going to add a really short and basic description. This is a project master landing page. So these elements are going to be saved in the layout.tsx. And also we have a basic preview of what we are doing. And I'm going to hit next. So the second step is uh, a basic step to add a styling and then this is going to be saved inside the global.css. So I'm just providing 3 options, the border radius, the font, the hidden size, and the primary color. So for the font, I'm going to choose Poppins, which is my favorite font. And for the color, so I'm going to choose this orange color. So the same color that we used in the landing page and I'm gonna hit next. And finally, we have a project overview of everything that we choose before we generate our project. So I'm gonna hit generate, and this is going to generate all the code or the source code of the Next.js inside this zip file. So I'm gonna open it up. And then, so this is all the files and folders, and I'm gonna extract it in here. So I'm gonna change the name of the folder. So I changed the name of the folder. So after we created or extracted our folder, then I'm gonna go and open up the folder that I just created. So after I opened up the folder, so the next step and the easiest one is to be able to use this and all you have to do is just open up your terminal and type in npm install. So we installed successfully all the packages and all we have to do type in npm run diff. So as you can see, after the project is fully loaded up, so this is the landing page that you will get right off the bat. So of course, we're gonna change this landing page to show you how to be able to create the one that I showed you. So such I want to share with you what you are going to get by using this tool. And also one thing that I want also to go through. So basically, because we are using here drizzle and auth.js, so we need to provide environment variables. So don't worry about this. So it's not a big problem. But I want just to go through the elements. As you can see, the auth.js. So we have the drizzle folder, the database. So everything is included just to skip all these setups because they do take a lot of time to build, and just focus on building whatever you want to build with Next.js. So as you can see, the project is ready to be used, and we are gonna create our or use our create our first section and use our first component from this website. So after we created our project, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is adding the navbar section. So first thing that we're going to do, we're going to go to the ballstack.dev, and we're going to go to the blocks page. And in the landing page section, we're going to go to the navbars. So here for now, we have three navbar components. So this is the component that we're going to be using. So you can check the code if you want. So before you use it, and also we have the docs section. So here I'm providing some examples on how to be able to use the component. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna click on the download component, and what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go to the folder of the project, and so this is the folder, and I'm gonna go to the app and the components folder, and here I can be able to save the component because we're gonna be using this when we are going to use other components. So if I go back to the source code and I go to the components folder, so we have our navbar 3.csx. So this is the whole component. As you can see, it is a pretty long component. I think it has 500 lines of code, so it's a pretty long and heavy component. But as you can see, it's a time saver. So don't want to create this from scratch every time that you want to build a new project. So it's total waste of time. So this is why I decided to create this pull stack to be able to create projects faster and also to save a lot of time. And I'm providing this for free, guys, because it takes me a lot of effort, even though I'm using AI, but it takes a lot of effort to build these components. And again, these components are going to be free for a limited time. So once I start getting some traction to this website, then I'm going to make some of the components paid. So now let's go back to the page, and here we have already things structured. So we're gonna stick to the structure, and what we're gonna do here, if we go to the navbar header, so here we have the home page components folder, and we have the folder header, and inside the header.jsx. So what I'm gonna do here, instead of using the navbar2, I'm going to import navbar 3 component that we just added. Since they are using the same structure of props, so all we have to do is just import the new component. So I'm going to get from the old one, I'm going to save the file to be able to see the new update in our page. So I'm going to go back to the page. So let me reload the page to be able to see the new update, and hopefully we can be able to see the new nav bar. So as you can see, this is the new nav bar. So as you may notice, this is not sticky because the sticky is false. So if I get rid from this prop, so it is by default, if we go to the navbar 3 component, at the top in the prop section. So let's go to the prop section, and as you can see, it is by default true if it is not provided in the props and the component or the route where we are using the component. So if we go back here, as you can see, this is sticky. So once the sticky is true, so it's gonna the position is gonna turn to fixed. So that's why we see the hero section like took the space at the top because this become fixed, so we can be able to make this appearance or make the nav bar appeared like when we are scrolling in our landing page. So we're going to fix this, of course, and also we need to do some updates in the styling to be able to get the style that I showed you. So now we're going to style our nav bar, and the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to create or change the logo. And so basically we're going to just add the logo of the application. So this is what I showed you in the demo. So what I'm going to do here inside the components folder, I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call it app logo.tsx because we're going to reuse this inside the footer section. So so this is the simple functional component called app logo, and we're going to return this icon from React icons. So let's get rid from this. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go back to the header.jsx and in the logo prop of the main object, I'm going to call the app logo component that I just added inside the components folder. And so I'm going to save the file. And also I'm going to get rid from the name. And so hopefully we can be able to only see the logo in the nav bar. So as you can see, so this is our logo, and I think right now it looks a lot better. And we're gonna keep customizing our uh, nav bar. So let's go back to the code, and here I'm going to add these Tailwind utility classes in the class name prompt. So I'm gonna paste the code. So if I save the file and I go back, so as you can see, we are going to have the background changing. And the reason for this is because this class name that we're using in the prompt of the functional component, it is associated to the nav tag, so or the header tag. So if we go to the bottom a little bit, so this is the class name that's going to override the class name or the inner class name that we have inside the header tag. To be able to fix this issue, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this variable and I'm going to put it in the nav uh, nav tag. So I'm going to save the file, and if we go back to the landing page, so as you can see, we have our nav bar uh, ready to be used. And also if we turn to the dark mode, as you can see, the color is going to remain the same because if we go back to the header.jsx, so if it is dark, we're going to use the background white with the 15% of opacity, and the normal color it's going to be background neutral 950. And we're going to get rid from the borders, and the text it's going to be white. So after we did all of this, so the next step, we need to change the menu. And by the way, this navbar is fully responsive. As you can see, So right off the bat, you are going to have this navbar fully responsive from this website. So you don't have to do anything else. And also I can be able to access to the menu if I click on this button. So now we're going to update the menu and the navbar. But first I want to show you uh, the prompt that we're going to be using to be able to update the menu. So if we go to the navbar 3 component, and if we go to the prop structure, so this is the interface. We have the navigation menu. So it's going to be an array of type T that extends the menu item. So the menu item, it's going to have the title, the URL, and the icon, and the submenu. So here we have a property with the that has nested uh, objects of or an array of objects. So we have the title, the description, the URL, and the icon. And to be able to see the data structure of the main menu. So this is the data structure. So we have the object, and for each object, we can be able to have submenus. So to be able to have the submenus, as you can see. So this is the data structure. So here I'm gonna paste the array that we're gonna be using. And so this is the array, and I'm going to import the the interface from the menu or the navbar 3 just to make sure that we have the right data structure before we use it in the navbar 3 prompt. So once we have this, all we have to do is use the main menu prompt or the navigation menu prompt, and I'm going to assign it to the main menu area that we just created. So if I save the file and I go back to the landing page, so as you can see, we have our new menu. And the reason why we don't have the icons because we didn't assign the icon property. So if we don't do so, they're not going to be shown in the uh, and the navbar. So this is how I designed this component just to make sure that it is easy to use and it handles cases like this without having to go to the code and modify it or update it. And just focus on building wherever that you are building. So as you can see, we have a full navbar ready to be used that handles the light and dark mode and all the colors and the we can be able to see clearly the nav bars in both themes. So once we have this, so now we're going to start working on the hero section. So after we added the nav bar, so the next section that we are going to tackle is the hero section. So the first thing that we're going to do, of course, we're going to go back to the ball stack, and I'm going to start everything all over again to access to the hero section that we're going to use. So in the blocks page, so go to under the landing page section, go to the hero sections, and we're going to access to all the hero sections that we have currently now. And this is the hero section that we're going to be using, which is the hero section 6. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on download component to access directly to the components folder of our project. So we're going to save our components in here. So once we have our components in our project, as you can see, so this is the component right inside the components folder. So now we can be able to use this component. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the features section, and under it we have this file. So sorry, we're going to go to the hero section, And here, what we're going to do, we are gonna get rid from this, and we are going to import hero section 6 like this. So I'm gonna save the file, and so let me get rid from the import of the previous hero section. And also we're going to get rid from this hero set data object that we used for the previous hero section. And if we go back to our project and if we reload the page to see the new update, we should see our new hero section. So this is the default data that we have in the hero section once we use it. So of course we are going to update all the information, the data, and also we're going to add the image, and also we are going to add some utility classes so we can be able to make sure that the hero section look uh, as I showed you in the demo of the project. And so to save some time, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste the whole code in here, and I'm going to explain all the things that I did. So this is the new code as you can see, and I'm going to explain all the things that I added. But before, I want to just show you the very quickly the prompts of the hero section 6. So as you can see, so if we go to the interface, as you can see, it is a pretty long prompt. So we have the class name, the main hidden, and also for each prompt, we it has its own object, the text, the class name, the subhidden, the batch feature, the primary button, the secondary button. So as you can see for the button or each button, we have the text, the variant, the class name. So I made sure that this component is reusable as much as I could. And also, I want to make sure that you can be able to update the hero section without having to go through the component itself and do the update, especially when it comes to styling it. So that's why I added for each object a sub object, like for the main header, so you can be able to go to the class name and change the main heading just from the prompt or the parent component. So, and also I want to first show you the result that we got. So as you can see, we have the same result that I showed you in the demo of the project. So to be able to push down a bit the hero section, so we're going to use the class name. So the padding top, so it's going to be 120 12 pixel. So we add a little bit of paddings at the at the left and at the right, and also when we reach the 640 pixels, so the paddings is going to be like this. And also we created some constants. So the main hidden text, so it's going to be React node type since we're using the h1 tag. So if we go to the hero section 6 and the main hidden or the text property of it could be a string or React node. So the reason why I did so, so we can be able to style the main hidden. I like to be able to add different things in here. So for in our case, I made the effortlessly word in another span, and I used the text primary utility class so you can be able to use the color from or the main color from Shadcn as you can see. And also I added some class utility classes and the class name of the h1 tag so you can be able to get this styling. And also, as you can see, we have the feature badge that we can access to from this prompt, and we're going to use the text property. So we have the subhidden, so we're going to use this variable or this constant, and the image placeholder, so it has the source tag. So we're going to use this from the public folder, and the primary button. So we're going to update the text by using its property called text, and we're going to call it the get started for free. And since we're not using the secondary button, so we're going to use the one that is provided in the hero section 6, which is the default value. And as you can see, this is our component, easy to hook up with your projects. All you have to know is how to use this component by accessing to the interface, to know how to use it, and to make things easier. So that's why I'm providing the docs section. So I'm providing some examples to see how to use this component if you want to access to this, or if you have some troubles using the component. So as you can see, this is the hero section. So we built or we added the navbar and the hero section, and we're going to keep going. So the next section, it's going to be the so-called the customer section, but we're going to use feature section. So if we go up, so if we go to the blocks, so we're gonna access to the feature sections, and in the feature sections, so we're gonna use, um, sorry, we're gonna go to the hero section again, and we're gonna use the first one. So we're gonna use this, and we're gonna get rid from some of the elements as I'm going to show you to get this, so to get this final result. So after we created the hero section, so the next section that we're going to be adding, as I said, the customers section. So this is the section that we're going to be adding. And as I said, we're going to use the hero section 1, and we're going to modify it so it can so we can get this result. So we already have this hero section in our project. So the one that we were using in the boilerplate landing page that I'm providing with the project. So this is the hero section.tsx. So this is the component that we're going to be using. So first thing first, under this folder, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it customer section, and I'm going to create another file, and I'm going to call it customer section dot gx. Probably you are wondering why I'm doing this kind of structure, why I'm creating a folder, and inside of it I'm creating a file. Why not creating one all the files lined up under the home page component. So the reason why I'm doing so, so if for example we want to add a function or mock data or anything like this that is for a section, I want things to be organized. So this is why I'm doing so. So I'm going to generate this boilerplate functional component, and I'm going to actually rename the functional component, and I'm going to rename it to customer section. And then we're going to import the customer section component in the page.jsx. So we're going to go under the hero section, and I'm going to call customer section component. So I'm going to save the file, and then so let's go back to the customer section component. And what I'm going to do here, so let me recall this tag into from div into section, and I'm going to call the hero section uh, sorry the hero section 1 component. So the first thing that I'm going to do, um, I'm gonna see if this is loaded, and uh, we have a little issue because in this component we need to provide the property primary button. So this is what I'm going to do, primary button, and I think it has the text. So I'm going to just add this just to get rid from this error. And if we go back to our project after loading the page, so we have this issue since the component has an event listener, the onClick, and this is a server component. So if I do this and I use the use client flag to turn this into a client component, so we should get rid from this error. Now the error is gone, and if we go under the error section, so this is the component that we have. So the next thing that we're going to be doing, so we're going to update this code, and we're going to add or use the prompts provided by this component, and also we are going to add some dummy data, and we're going to use them in this component to be able to see the final result that we have in here. So I'm going to do, just to not waste any time, I'm going to paste the whole code in here. I'm going to explain everything. So this is the code, as you can see. And if we go back to our browser, so let me reload the page to see the results. And so this is the result. Of course, as I said, all of these icons or companies, I'm just using them for the sake of this landing page. So nothing is true from here. And one last thing that I need to do, as you can see, we have a lot of space between the text and the icons. And what I'm going to do first in the hero section one, so in the icons section, so I'm going to get rid from the top margins. And if I reload the page, so we should get rid from this huge space. And as you can see right now, it looks a lot nicer. So if we go back to the code, and I'm going to explain everything in the customer section.jsx very quickly. So here we are creating this dummy data with the name and the icon. So those are the properties that the tech tools icons prop accepts in the hero section one component. So if we go to the component, and if we go to the interface of the actual component, specifically in the tech tools icon, as you can see, it is an array of this object that has the name property, and the icon is of type React Node. So we can be able to accept icons from Lucid, React, or React icons, or any icon library. So that's why I use this type. So let's go back to the customer section, and then we're going to assign this and the tech tools icons. So we have the main hidden, so we're going to use the text and the class name. So to be able to get to hide the main hidden, so we are going to use the hidden utility class says. If we go to the hero section one component, so we are going to destructure the main hidden from the prompt, and this class name property, it's going to be added inside the div tag of the main component that's going to override all of these utility classes. So whatever that we add in here is going to override all of these elements. So once we did hidden, so it's going to be used, and then all the component related to the main hidden, it's going to be hidden. So we have this sub hidden, so we're going to keep this to be able to show this little text. And finally, we're going to hide the primary button by using the class name property. So that's why for each element or object in the component, I create a class name for it to be used in the parent components without having to go inside the component and to be able to style the component depending on what you would like and depending on the color scheme of the landing page or whatever project that you are creating. So as you can see, we've been able to create this a lot faster. So the only thing that's going to take you a little bit of time is to know how the component works. And also everything that we are using is responsive. So you don't have to do anything with inside the component, which is a time saver. So as you can see, everything is responsive. So the next section that we're going to be adding, I think, is the our process section, and this is what we are going to work in. Hi everyone, welcome back in the second part of me building a landing page or a modern landing page for the project for a project manager. So for those of you who just clicked on this video, I highly recommend watching the first video of the project. So this is the second part of the video. So first I want to show you what I built and what we are currently building. So this is the landing page. So we have this floating navbar. So when I scroll down, we have this beautiful hero section, and this is the dashboard of the project manager. So it's a project that I built for about 1 year ago, and you can find it in my YouTube channel. So this is the dashboard, and it's a real project. So I decided to build a modern landing page for this project. So I already built a landing page for the project, but it was very simple. So next we have the customer section, and also I want to point this out, like the information or most of the information in the landing page are made up. Like this landing page or this dashboard is real, but the other information are just made up just for the sake of building this landing page. Then we have the process or how it works section. I'm using this Bento grid, and all of the images that you are seeing right now are real from the project. And also you can find down below in the description the link to the project if you want to learn more about this project. And then we have how it works section with this progress component. Then we have the plugin section. Then we have the pricing section. Again, all of these are made up because I'm not providing any pricing in the project. Then we have the questions section, and we have the testimonials and the newsletter, and finally we have the footer section. And also along with so we are what I'm doing is I'm using this website called ballstack.dev. So it is a website that I built to be able to create UIs a lot faster. So what I'm providing here, the UI components. So I think that there is something wrong with my internet connection. So it is taking a bit of time to load the website. So the website currently working, and this is the actual website. And if we go to the blocks page, as you can see, I'm providing many components that we're going to be using in this landing page to be able to build landing pages or UI elements or design a lot faster. But also I'm providing many sections like the authentication and also the dashboard section. We have so many components that I used recently in my latest project where I'm building full stack project, and I used massively some of the components in the dashboard section, and it saved a lot of time. So I put a lot of time building the components, and I make them reusable so I can be able to save time later on in the future. So this is the introduction of this video. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna continue working on our project. So if I open up a new tab and access to the local 3000, so I'm already opening VS Code with the project, and also running the server. And as you can see, I have some errors because in the Next.js boilerplate code, what I'm doing, I'm providing drizzle and next auth, and I need to provide the env variable. So that's why I'm having these errors, but we are going to fix them in the future. So if we go back to the local 3000, and so this is where we stopped. We stopped at the customer section. So now what we're going to be doing, so if we go back to our final project, so we need to add this section, and this is what we are going to start doing. So the first thing that we're going to be doing to build this section, so we're going to go back to ballstack.dev, and then we're going to go to the how it works section. So this is, so we're going to click on the how it works to access to all the components in this. So currently I created the three components. So this is basically the section that we're going to be using for the how it works. So this is the how it works too. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use this section to be able to build this. And if we go back to the final product, so we're going to be using it to be able to create this one. So it is under the how it works section or route, and it is the third component. So what I'm going to do now, and also you can access to the code if you want to before you copy it or you download it. So I'm going to click on download component, and so I'm going to go right into the components folder of the project because I've already done it for the other components. So Windows will save this, and I'm going to save this inside this components folder. So that's why I'm providing this feature to download the component without having to copy it and go back to the VS Code or your IDE and create a new file and then paste the code. So after we added the component in our project, so as you can see, so this is the new file here. So inside the feature section, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid from all of the previous code. So this code you will get from using the Next.js boilerplate generator that I'm providing in ballstack.dev. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid from all of these elements, and I'm going to import the how it works component that we just added. And because this feature section functional component is called in the page.tsx, so if I save the file, so I've already saved the file, and if we go back to our project, so let's reload the page to see the new element in the landing page. So as you can see, this is the component that we just added. So this is the default visual from the component as we have in the preview. So what we're going to do here, we are going to use the prompts. So if we go back to the code here, so as you can see in the component, oh, I'm going to go inside the VS Code just to see things clearly with the color. And so if we go to the how it works prompt, so these are the prompts that we're going to be using to customize our component and to make it look like this. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going uh, I'm going to add or paste the data structure that we're going to be using inside the steps array. So inside the how it works 3 section, we have this steps property. So this is the definition of each step, and this is the default step array that I'm using inside the component once you use it for the first time. So the array or each object should follow the structure that we are defining in the step interface. So to save a bit of time, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste the new array that I used, and of course I need to import the step interface from the component. So I think that I need to add the export keyword, which is something that I forgot to do, and then we can be able to import the step interface from the component. So after this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call this features or assign it to the stops or the steps prompt in the component. So I'm going to save the file, and if we go back to our project or to the landing page, as you can see, the new data has been added in each object. Eventually, we need to add the images, which is the last thing that I'm going to do. And then we need to update the heading and the description or the subheading. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to the source code or to the file. So in the how it works component, also we have the title and the subtitle. And so each title has the title has is defined this way. So it's an object of text that has the type string or React node and the class name. And the same for the subtitle. So what I'm going to do here, so I want to first show you the structure or the definition of each prop before I paste the code. So this is the feature title. So that's why I put the title property as or the text as Strict React Node, so we can be able to add tags or components, and just to make the hidden a lot more dynamic and more appealing rather than just using a simple string. So we have the h1 tag with all of these utility classes, and then we have two words managing project has, and the other phrase or two phrases, it's another span because that's gonna have another color. So and finally we have the feature subtitle, so it's gonna be a simple text or text. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call this or assign all of these variables with the prompts from the how it works 3 component. So I'm gonna assign the feature title section, and also I'm going to, but first, as I need, so since the title is an object, so I need to add an object and then assign the features title section to the text property. So I forgot doing this, so that's why I had this error. And this is the good thing about TypeScript, so it's going to throw errors at runtime, because TypeScript found that you didn't follow the structure that you set in the how it works 3 component. And then I'm going to use the other prompt called subtitle, And simply I'm going to assign the feature subtitle with the subtitle. And I did the same mistake again. So I need to use this object and use the text property and then assign the feature subtitle. So now if we go back to our landing page, as you can see, now it looks a lot cooler, and we have the new data rendering in our Benito or Bento grid. So, and one last thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some utility classes in the class name of the how it works 3 component, and also I need to add the images to be able to show them in each card. So after we added successfully this section in our landing page, so the next component that we're going to be adding, if we go back to our final product, is this how it works section. So we already saw this component because um, the previous component we used the how it works 3 component. So this is the component that we used, and now we're going to use this component. So we use this component for the features section, and now we're going to use this component for the how it works section. So this is the component. As you can see, you can access to the code if you want to. So this component, so just think about the time that we'll save if you want to build this component from scratch, or any component that you want to build. You can just copy and paste, and you can do the modification if you want to, like to add some of the things or modify some of the things that you want based on the project that you are building. So this is a time saver, and this is what I'm trying to do with this poststack.dev website. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to download this component as I did for the previous component. So I'm going to click on download, and then I'm going to save it in this components folder. So after I've done this, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it how it works section, like this. And inside this folder, I'm going to create another component or another file called how it works section. So I'm going to create a boilerplate empty component. So I'm going to rename the functional component like this, and then I'm going to call how it works to components, and then I'm going to call the how it works section component and the page.jsx where we are rendering our landing page. So under the feature section, I'm going to call how it works section this way. So we should see our new component. So if we go back to the local 3000, so I'm going to reload the page to see the new update or the new component that I just added. So it's going to take a little while because my computer is a bit slow. And as you can see, so this is the component right off the bat. So as you can see, we are using the another color because we're using Shadcn. So so we're gonna all the components that I'm using the text primary class name just to be able to uh, extract the color from Shadcn rather than creating my own colors, so which is something that I think is a time saver. So once we have the component has been added, so the only thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add the new array because if we go back to our code, it's better to go to the VS Code just to see things clearly with the colors and other things. And here in the how it works prompt, as you can see, we have uh, the same blueprint. So we're using the steps array, and it's going to be slightly different than the other one when it comes to the interface, because the design is a little bit different. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to go back to the how it works section, and here I'm going to paste the array just to save time, and then we're going to assign the new array to the steps prompt of the how it works to component. So I paste the new data that we're going to be using in our component, and also I imported all the necessary icons from React or Lucid React component, and also we have the hidden text and the sub-hidden text. So the hidden text, as I did for the previous component, so it's going to be an h1 tag and span tags within the h1 tag. And finally, we have the sub-hidden text variable of which is a simple string. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to assign each variable or each element inside the prompt. So the steps, it's going to be assigned to the how it works step or steps variable. So then we have the title, which is an object of type, and we have the property text, and we're going to assign it to the hidden text. And then finally we have the um, the description variable or object, and then we are going to assign the text to the subhidden or the text to the subhidden variable. So I'm going to save the file. Let's go back to the landing page to see if everything is working fine. So as you can see, all the elements has been added successfully in our component, and we are done with this component. So think about how much time we will save by just using or reusing this component, and you can use it and you reuse it in other future projects, which is a time saver. So just building this landing page, yes, it took me quite a while to build all of these components. Eventually, I'm using AI, and with my experience, I can guide the AI to create these components a lot faster. And also, I need to do some modifications and update. I need to sometimes restructure the whole component so I can get the result that I want. And the experience and the skills that you learned from building a lot of components is very important. So you don't want the AI to do all of the things, because most of the time you will not get the results that you want. So yes, it's gonna take me a lot of time upfront, but in the future, it's going to be a time saver because I can reuse this component for many projects ahead. So now we completed our section. So the next section that we're going to be adding is this blogging section. And again, if we go back to the website, and if we go to the blog section, so we have the blog post section. Right now, currently, I have just 4 components. So I'm going to access to the components or to the page. So as you can see, so these are the components that I built so far, and we're going to be using this blog post section for. And this is what we are going to start doing for in the next part. So now let's start adding this blog post section in our landing page. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to download the component as I did for the other components, and I'm going to save it inside the components folder of the project. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new folder here under the homepage components, and I'm going to call it blog post section folder. And then I'm going to create a new file here, blog post section.tsx. I'm going to create an empty component, blog post section. Then I'm going to call the new component that I just added, blog post section 4, like this. So I'm going to add the class name of the blog post section 4 component. So inside the component, if we look inside the component, and specifically if we look to inside the blog post section 4 prompt, so this is the main prompt of the component. So we have the section ID, again, the title, the posts or the post array, the class name. So the class name of the prompt that we just used, it's going to be linked to the main section tag of the component. So whatever that we are using in the in here, so it's going to override the class name or the utility classes that we use in the main component, specifically in the section tag. So I want to add this. So and then I'm going to import the blog post section in the main page, which is the page.tsx. So under the how it works section, I'm going to call the blog post section. So I'm going to save the file, and then let's go back uh, to our landing page, and I'm going to reload the page to see the new component. And as you can see, so this is the component as it is previewed in ballstack.dev. So the only thing that we need to do, as I did for the other component, is to update the data so it fits the theme of our project, which is the project manager application. So let's go back to the project. And I'm going to go to the blog post section here. And as I did for the other components, so I'm going to paste the data structure or the array that we're going to be using, and then need to import the postcard prompts from the components. So one of the things that I want to make sure that our project is safe, so I'm going to use these interfaces that I'm creating in the components for every component that I'm building. So when I'm creating the array, especially when it comes to the arrays, because it's a bit complex to when it comes to the data structure. So using TypeScript and using these interfaces, you want to make sure that you are following the structure that you set for the components, so to avoid having not having any issues. So this is the whole component or the whole array. So we have each object, the structure, the title, the description, the image, and the URL link. And then I'm going to post or link the postcards array with the prompt that I'm providing in the component, which is the post array. So I'm going to assign it to the postcards array. So right off the bat, after doing this, if we go back to our project, so we should see different images, but also different text and subtext as well. Then what I'm going to do, and which is the thing that I've already done, so I'm going to assign the hidden text with the title property, which is an object that has the text property. And also it has the class name. So if you want to style even further the title, you can use the class name inside the object. And I'm going to assign it as I did for the other components the hidden text. So the error is because I think that the title text, and this is something that I need to update in the project. So the title is of type string. So because I'm using a component which is of type React Node, so I need to add the React Node type and make this text property as a union type that it could accept the string or the React Node. So as you can see, the error is gone. So if I save the file, so let's go back to the project. So as you can see, this is the new hidden has been added in the updated in the landing page. And now we're going to update the description on the subhidden and the feature. And notice right now, finally, we have or we're having the background color. So the reason for this is because this wasn't applied successfully because of character that has been added uh, uh, in here. So once I got rid of this, it worked. So that's why the class name wasn't applied from the parent component. So if we go back to the blog post section, so the last prompts that I'm going to add are these. So the feature badge. So the feature badge prompt is a type or is an object that has the main text and the second text, and we have the description. So if we save the file, so as you can see, we have our uh, blog post section. Um, and also another thing that I did mention, so also it accepts the dark mode. So as you can see, when I turn the dark mode on, so we have the background color like this is because if we go to the class name, so we're gonna use the dark. So when the dark is on, so we're going to use the background neutral. So this is the color that we have in here. So as you can see, we've been able to build successfully and rapidly the blog post section. And again, guys, all of these components that I'm providing in this website are completely for free to use. So we are done with this section. So the section or the next section that I'm going to be adding is the pricing section. So we're going to follow the same principle. We're going to go back to the ballstack.dev. So here, I'm going to go to the pricing section. So this is the pricing section. And if we go all the way down, so this is the component, so the pricing three component, and also we have other three components. So this is the last component that I currently added. So this day I added this component. So I'm trying every single day to add new components and enrich my project and also add more options to the user and also for me to build many projects and make things a lot simpler for me in the future. So the next section, as I said, we're going to be building the pricing section based on this component. So now let's start adding our pricing section as we did for the other components again. We are going to download this component in our project, specifically under the components folder. And then I'm going to save the file. So let's go back to our project and I'm going to create a new folder here. So I'm going to call it pricing section and I'm going to create a new file called pricing section.tsx like this. And then I'm going to create a new empty component. I'm going to rename the functional component. And then I'm going to call uh, pricing section 3 component. And finally, I'm going to go to the main route, which is the page.jsx, and under the blog post section, I'm going to call pricing section. So I'm going to save the file. Let's go back to the local host 3000. I'm going to reload the page to see the new component, and then under the blog post or productivity articles section. So this is the section has been added successfully. So as in the preview, we have two plans. So eventually we are going to update all the elements as we did for the other component. So let's go back to VS Code. So let me close some of the tabs here just to make things a bit cleaner. So so I'm gonna keep, of course, um, the pricing section.jsx. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, first I want to just show you very quickly what is the structure of the prompts inside this component. So as you can see, it it's a bit heavy as a component. So this is the main interface, the section ID, the plans, the class name. So we have the patch, which is responsible for this section, and then the main hidden, the sub hidden. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to paste all the data that we're going to be using for this component. So this is the data structure. So the first thing that I need to do, I need to import the pricing plan interface. So first, let's add the export keyword to be able to import the pricing plan interface from the pricing 3 component. And also I'm going to import the the icons. So it has been imported from React icons, and also I'm going to import the star component or icon, and also I'm going to import the bolt icon. And here we have also the main hidden, as I did for the other components. So all you have to do is to assign these variables with the prompts that are in the pricing section 3. So the first prompt that I'm going to be using is the plans. So I'm going to assign it to the updated plans array, or the new array that we want to show inside our landing page. And then we have the main heading, and the main heading is an object that has the text property, and I'm going to assign it to the main hidden constant. So let's check if everything is working fine. So if you go back to the browser, so as you can see, our data has been rendered successfully in our landing page. Of course, I need to add to update the class name, and also I need to update. I think I need to update the subhidden as well, and this is what I'm going to do. So let's go back to the source code, and I'm gonna paste these prompts. So we have the batch and the subhidden to be able to update uh, the batch, and also to update the subhidden. And also I'm going to add a little bit of margin at the top, because we have a tight space between the pricing section and the upper section. So now if we go back to the landing page, so as you can see, our batch feature or section has been updated, but also the sub hidden has been updated, and also we have a little bit of gap between this section and the blog section. And also if we turn the dark mode on, just to make sure that the colors also are good for the dark mode, as you can see, everything is working fine. So now we continued the pricing section. So if we go back to the final product, so we're gonna use or we're gonna add the question section. So this part is part of this component. So we have the testimonials, and finally we have the newsletter and the footer section that need to be added to be able to complete the landing page. So now let's add these components first. Hi everyone, welcome back in the third and the final part of building a project manager landing page or SaaS landing page. So for those of you who are new to this video, so I highly recommend to watch the first and the second part of this series. And first I want to show you just uh, to give you an idea of the final results and what we are building. So as you can see, this is the landing page that is deployed in Vercel servers. And so I'm going to start from the top. So we have this floating navbar, as you can see, this hero section. And also we have the features and the how it works, the blogs, the pricing, the questions and answers sections or section, the testimonial section, and finally the footer section with the newsletter section. And the best part is we're going to be using this website called Ballstack. So this is the why I'm creating all of these series, just to show you this tool and to use it. So all of the components that I'm providing here for free, and also I'm providing some templates. Among them is this project master, and also I have other templates as well. You, you can purchase if you want to, just to support me and support the work that I'm doing in my channel, because building all of these takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. But this isn't the objective of this video. And so also I'm providing a tool called Next.js boilerplate generator, where you can create a Next.js project. All of the elements built in, like the authentication and also next auth and also fonts and like all the boring stuff we want to build a new project. So you can click on the start building and you can explore this. But this is not the goal of this video. So now we're gonna continue building our landing page, and I want to show you where we stopped. So we stopped in the pricing section. So if we go back to the final product or landing page. So we have the pricing section, and also we have the questions section. So I'm gonna add this section. So one thing great about this, all the blocks or components that I'm using, so they're just copy and paste. So the only thing that you need to do is first you need to know how it works, because if we go, for example, to the testimonials page, so each component you can go to the docs section, and I'm providing some examples on how you can be able to use this component, and also I'm providing the code if you want to go through the code if you want to. The reason why I'm doing this, just to first you want to know how it works, and also for me, because I have many components in this website, so it is very hard to remember each component what it does. So this is why I'm creating this, and to enhance the user experience as well for this website. So let's go back to our project and continue building the landing page. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the questions section underneath the pricing section. So the first thing in the blocks page, so we're gonna go to this section, and here for this at this time I'm providing three components. So these are the components that I created so far, and this is the component that I'm using. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click on the download component, and inside the components folder and the app folder, so saving all the reusable components that I took or I downloaded from poststack.dev. So we have the name. So I already programmed this to get the name in the final file name input field of the file, and the it's going to be saved as Typescript file. So I'm going to hit save, and as you can see, we have a notification telling us that the file has been saved successfully. And what I'm going to do here, so you can check the component. So this is the component, as you can see, has been saved successfully. And this is the component, how it works if we wanna go through the component. And next, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to inside or within the homepage components folder. So I'm gonna follow the same structure that I did for the other sections. So I'm gonna create a new folder, and I'm gonna call it this way. And also I'm gonna create a new file .tsx. So I'm gonna create an empty reusable component, and then I'm going to uh, change the name of the functional component, of course, and then I'm going to call the reusable component that I downloaded from poststack.dev. And then I'm gonna call this component in the page.tsx. So, so I'm gonna do it this way, section. And so let's go back to our landing page to see if the component has been rendered successfully in the page. And I'm gonna reload the page to see the new component. So as you can see, this is the component. So as you can see, because we are using Shadcn, so the color or the main color, it's going to be taken from the global.css based on the color that we choose when we create our project. So as you can see right off the bat, we have the components. So what you have to do is to use the props that this component is providing. So it is a time saver. So I don't want to create these components from scratch. So I want to have a collection of reusable components, and all you have to do is to know how to use them and put them together, and you are ready to go. And also, as I'm going to show you, like for each section, having a class name. So you don't want to go inside the component and change the component. So you can just change the class name property of each object. So to show you this, so let's go back to the VS Code and the component. So this is the interface of the main component. So as you can see for the feature badge, which is this part, we have the text and the class name. So this class name, it is linked to the badge, and you can just as I'm going to show you when we are going when I'm gonna add uh, the prompts in the this component. So all you have to do is to change the utility classes inside the class name property from the parent component, and you are ready to go. And this is what I'm going to do to be able to get the to be able to get uh, the same data or the same result as we have in the final landing page. So let's go back to the project, to the code, and what I'm gonna do to save time, I'm gonna paste the whole object uh, that we're gonna that we're gonna use as a prompt in the component. So we have an error because we need to provide this prompt from or this interface, sorry, from the main component. And so I'm gonna import the component. So hopefully that I'm not gonna have any errors. The reason why I can't access to the IntelliSense because I need to export the interface. So that's I think the only modification that I'm going to do for this component. So let's save the file and then I'm going to use the interface. So that's the beauty of using TypeScript and interfaces. So when I make sure that this structure follows the same structure that we defined in the main component before we use it in the component or the component itself by using the spread operator. And then I'm going to call the project manager data. So I'm going to save the file. So this is what allows us using this interface. So we're having the section ID, the class name, the feature badge, the title, the description, and also the items that we want to show in the section and the contact section. So as you can see, through the prompts and through this object, so it's a pretty heavy object. Because we have a lot of components inside this component. So, so let's save the file and we want to see the new result. So I'm gonna reload the page again. So as you can see, this is how the section looks. It is the same as I created. Because I've already done the hard work to see how to use uh, the utility classes and also to update the data. So I don't want to waste time like typing and doing all of this. So I want to just show you how this works and how to put everything together. So we added this section. So the two final sections that I'm going to add by following the same process is the testimonial section and also the newsletter section and the the footer section. So let's add the next section, which is the testimonial section. So as we did for the other section, so we're gonna go back to poststack.div and in the landing page section. So we're gonna go to the testimonials sub section. And so we're gonna be using the second component, which is this one. So I'm gonna download the component again, and I'm gonna save it in the components folder. So the file has been saved successfully. So now let's go back to our uh, project and I'm gonna create a new folder. So I'm gonna call it testimonials, testimonials section. And inside of it, as I did for the other components or sections, so I'm gonna create a new file, testimonials section.jsx, and I'm gonna generate a boilerplate component, and I'm gonna change or update the name, testimonials section. And I'm gonna call the component that I just downloaded from um, postdoc.dev. So I think that, so let me go back uh, to the component just to see the name of the component to make sure that I'm using the same or the correct name of the component. So it is called the testimonial section 2. Testimonial section 2. So let's do this again. Testimonial section 2 component. So this is the component that I was looking for in the IntelliSense. So once we have this ready to be used, then I'm gonna go back to the page.jsx, and underneath this section, I'm gonna call testimonial section. So for this time, I'm gonna call it from this. So this is the path that the component from this path that I'm gonna be using. So I'm gonna save the file and I wanna check if everything is working well. So if I reload the page, we should see the new component or the new section has been added underneath this section. So eventually it's gonna look the same as this one. So the only thing that's gonna be changing are the colors. So this is the components, as you can see, has been added successfully in the landing page, and also we have some some images, because if we go back to the component itself, so let me close all of these tabs. Uh, if we go back to the component, so here inside the array that we are using to show all of the testimonials, so we're using the random user.me API to be able to access to the images. So it's a popular API that is widely used in the web development world. So this is what we are using to be able to show for the sake of like showing how the component works to show all of these images. So now once we have the component ready to be used, so I'm going to add inside the testimonial section.tsx. So I'm going to add the object that we're going to be using for this component. So again, I'm gonna paste the whole object like this. So also, as you can see, the object is a little bit long, and we are going to use this object in the component here. So it is called project manager testimonial data. So we're going to use the spread operator to be able to actually access to all of this object, all the properties inside this object, rather than using each property in the component, and it's gonna make the code look a bit concise when using the component. So this is the structure, the testimonial badge, the title, the description, and also the testimonials array. So we have 3 arrays, and also this class name, it's going to be linked to the main tag of the component. So if we go to the component, so we have the section ID, and this class name, it's going to be linked to the class name that we are using in the functional component. So this one or this class name, it's going to be linked to the section tag of the component. So here I'm adding some paddings at the top and at the left, at the top and at the bottom, sorry, to be able to create some space and gap between the sections at the top and at the bottom. So if I save the file, so we should see the new data as you can see. So now we have a little bit of gap at the top, and also we have some new icons and new text and new data. Just for the sake of showing you how to be able to use this component and how time saving could be, like using reusable components like this, and this is what I'm doing. So the two last components for us to be able to finish this landing page is this newsletter um, component and also the footer component. So let's keep going, and the next section that I'm going to be adding is this one. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to ballstack.dev, and I'm going to go to the blocks page, and we're going to access to the newsletter. So I'm going to click on it. So as you can see, we have two components. And of course, we're going to be using, eventually we're going to be using this component. So I'm going to download the component as I did for the other components, and I'm going to save it inside the components folder. So as you can see, the data, it is the same, or the theme that I'm using that I'm using to preview the component. It is the same that we are using in the project manager landing page. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just add this landing page or create the component, and I'm going to just use this component as it is. So I'm not going to add any data like I did for the other component. So again, I'm going to create a new folder here called newsletter section, and I'm going to create a new file called newsletter.jsx. So let's add the section word, and I'm going to create a boilerplate or generate a boilerplate functional component, newsletter section functional component, and I'm going to call the component that I just downloaded. So first, let me see the name of the component to call the right component. So let's call the newsletter 2. So newsletter 2 component. And finally, I'm going to call this newsletter section component inside the page.jsx newsletter section component. And if we go back to our to local 3000, so we should see the section underneath the testimonial section. Again, so I'm not going to add any object. So the only thing that is going to be changing is the color. So it's going to use the main colors or the primary color that we're using in Shadcn. And I'm going to leave it as it is because the data matches the theme that we're using in the landing page. So as you can see, we have the component has been added successfully. So this it's a client component because we need to make it client to be able to handle the input or the update of the input. So as I showed you, I'm not going to get into how each section works, but I'm gonna the reason why I did this to be able to show you a tool that's going to help you to create a landing page a lot faster. So once we are done with this, so the final section is the footer section, and this is what we are going to be adding. So let's add the last section, which is the footer section. So again, as I did for the other sections or component, so I'm going to go to the footer. So I'm going to click on footers, and I'm going to use the final footer or the footer 3, and I'm going to download the reusable components inside the components folder and click save. So the file has been saved successfully. So so the footer section folder, so it is already there, so I'm not going to create a new one. So the only thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid from uh, all the things that are unnecessary, and I'm going to call the footer 3 component. So also I'm going to get rid from all of the unused uh, components and elements at the top. So I'm going to save the file. So let's go back to the local 3000. So I'm going to reload the page to see the news section underneath the newsletter section. So this is already called in the page.tsx. So if I go here, so this is the footer section. So this is why I didn't save some of the elements when I created the project. So because we already have, because I'm providing a very simple landing page and it follows the same structure. So some of the folders, I didn't save them just to be able to reuse them. So as you can see, this is the section, the footer has been added successfully. So the only thing that I'm going to do, as I did for the other components, I'm going to change the data. So let's go back to the code. And as we did for the previous sections, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste the object, and also I need to add uh, all of the all of the elements that have the red line. So the first one that I'm going to start with, I need to import the footer 3 prompt or prompt. So the first thing that I need to do, I need to sorry, I need to go to the footer 3 and I need to import. So probably I need to do some modifications in some of the components. Like I forgot to add the export keyword to be able to import some of the interfaces inside the component like this one. It's going to help you to create the data structure that matches the structure that I created for the component. So also I'm going to import the app logo functional component. And this one, if you remember, if you watched the previous parts, so this one I'm using in the navbar. So I created this component in the components folder. So this is the component that I just imported to be able to reuse it in both places, the navbar and the footer. And also I need to import these functions. So these functions, as I'm going to show you, it's going to help us to create the anchor slug. So when I click on one of these, it's going to take us to the section that we want. So, and this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to create a new folder inside the app folder. So I'm going to call it utils.js, and I'm going to paste the function. So this is the function to be able to add the hashtag at the beginning, and so let me add the curly brace, And then we are going to import the function create anchor slug. And then I'm going to import all of these icons. You know what? I'm going to go at the top and I'm going to paste these. So these are the icons that we're using to import that we are using in the social links. So the only component that I need to add, so I'm gonna start from here and I'm gonna paste it in here. So now all the errors are gone, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add this structure in our prompt like this. So we should see all the update in our footer section. So I'm gonna reload the page to re-render and see the new changes. So as you can see, those are the changes. So if I hover over these links, as you can see, we're gonna have the names of the section. So as you can see, we've been able to create this landing page. So it's a pretty long landing page and it has a lot of sections. So think about like building all of these elements from scratch. So it's really time consuming. And this is why I'm building this stack.div to be able to save time and to create landing pages, but also to create projects a lot faster because I'm not providing just like reusable components for landing pages. Also, I'm providing for dashboards to create and to put a lot of components together to create also dashboards as well. So we came to the final part of this series. So hopefully that you got some value from this project. And also I'm going to be releasing soon the full course or full video of the project. Uh, and that's it. So thank you again for watching this video and hopefully that you got some positive value from this series.